All right, let's introduce our guest tonight. Let's see if I can pull it up here. So, hello, Rolando. Rolando Serrano, I'm saying your name right, correct?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, Senior Director, Business Development, Housecall
right.
Pro, is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
I won't give you too much. Aaron and I met Housecall Pro at an event during spring break, and so I didn't get a chance to meet you in person other than just talking to you on the phone. But I was really impressed with your group and your company, and I'll let you kind of tell a little bit of the history. But my perception of the company was, here's a company in San Diego that it started out, how many years ago? 8?
4 years ago.
4 years ago? Oh my gosh, 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, you've grown to about 200 employees?
Yeah, just over 200 now.
Yeah. So a San Diego company, they developed an app called Housecall Pro, and this ties in really well with what we're talking about right now, because in our sales plan that we talked about last week, one of the tools that you should be using is some type of customer relationship management and developing ways that you can interact with your customer that makes it more convenient and adds value to them. And so you can see how it ties into stuff we're talking about today is when a customer is trying to get some product or service done, how can you make their experience better for them? And so I saw the company, I said, oh my gosh, we need to talk to them. So Rolando has been very generous to offer up his time to come here. And I think it's really telling that, I shouldn't say telling, it's really a great coincidence because he also has a lot of experience with business development and sales. So hopefully we can ask him a few questions after his presentation. So I'd like to let him introduce himself, share with us the app and how it works. And it's not necessarily work with you directly, but there's probably other ones like it that might be specialized to you. So I'll let him talk about that. And if we can keep on for a few minutes afterwards, I'd like to kind of pick his brain and let you ask questions of a real professional, of a company that has grown from just an idea 4 or 5 years ago to 200 employees here in San Diego. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the intro. Hey guys. As Matt mentioned, I'm Rolando Serrano. So I head up our business development team here at Housecall. And basically we are a venture-backed tech startup here in San Diego. And what that means is, we rely on venture capitalist money to help support and grow our idea. Gosh, there's so much that we can say, but basically to be venture backed, what that means is you're really just trying to invest a lot of money early on in a product that you believe the market has not developed and absolutely needs. And so as a result, what you do is you spend a lot of money early on, and you're not necessarily profitable in service of creating a product that eventually will take off and gain traction and be a breakthrough for an industry. And so for us specifically, what we focused on is radically changing the way that home service contractors run and operate their day-to-day business. And the reason we did that, and so what I mean by running their day-to-day business, I'm talking about scheduling a call, dispatching it out to one of the service techs, completing an invoice, taking payment, keeping track of that customer, remarketing out to them, so on and so forth. So doing all of those things. So why is that important? Well, because we learned early on, about 5-6 years ago, we started thinking about, well, how do home services get done today? So being a homeowner and being homeowners amongst the founder group, we realized that industry hadn't really evolved with the surroundings. This was back in 2014, 2015, and we're thinking, there's something broken here. And so that's when we started innovating and thinking, well, how should home services work? And so there's companies out there like Angie's List and things like that were thinking about, well, how do you make it really easy for customers, homeowners to get in contact with home service pros, right? And so Angie's List had a good idea. They said, well, look, we'll vet the mass amount of home service professionals that are out there. But what they didn't do is they didn't really connect the homeowner and the service pro. They basically were a yellow pages, a really nice and pretty, yellow pages, and nice and curated yellow pages, online, but there was no real innovation there. And so as a result, they struggled. And they recently sold for about $500 million, which is pretty good. But they actually, the companies that invested in them, they lost a lot of money, all said and done. And the reason is because what we really need to do is level up the home service professional. So you guys level up and give you the tools and resources that you need in order to serve the customer the way that the customer wants to be served. So what does that mean? How does that all play out? That's kind of what the demo's for, to just show you what I'm talking about. It sounds really like abstract at first, but then once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly how home services should be done, right? So that's what I'll go into, and then by all means, I'm available to answer questions and kind of walk you guys through, some of the early learnings and how we scaled. So I was employee number 8, and so as Matt mentioned, we are over 200 employees now, and so we've learned a lot, and we are on a really great trajectory. So we're pretty excited about what we've accomplished and where we're headed. But as far as we're concerned, we're just getting started, because it's a big world out there, and we're in the pole position, but there's a lot more that we can do. So yes, it's really exciting and great to get to this current state of affairs, but we're looking at a long road ahead. So I'll be more than happy to kind of share, that vision and some of the learnings along the way, for sure. So what I'll do is share my screen here and then kind of show you guys what we've built and kind of how it works. So the big breakthrough for us, the big innovation that we made was basically we thought about the home service contractors, and when I say that, I'm talking about carpet cleaners, plumbers, electricians, HVAC contractors, carpenters, anybody who goes to a home to provide a service. That's what I'm talking about. And what we realized early on is, yeah, look, there's software to help you run your business, but it runs on a laptop, it runs on a computer, a desktop. And that's basically the way it's been up until about 5-6 years ago when we came on the scene. And so what we thought is, well, shoot, why don't we give these guys the ability to run and operate their business from their phone? And the great thing is that our phones are incredibly powerful, and cell service is really strong now. So you can do a lot more on your phone than just play Angry Birds or go on Facebook. So that's where you're seeing more and more apps, coming out. And so we just thought, well, gosh, we could really help home service contractors run and operate their whole business from their phone. And so that's what we did. So here on my phone, this is actually my daughter. She's downstairs. She's I think like 4 months here, but she's 7 months now. So what we did is we built this app right here, Housecall Pro. And then we also built this app here, which is called Housecall. And so now you're starting to see those two parties kind of interplay, right? So here's what we did. We basically gave you guys the ability to run and operate your whole business from this app. So what I'll do is just open up the app and kind of show you around. Yeah. All right. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start here on the desktop, and I'll show you guys the desktop version, and then I'll move to the app here in a sec. I want to bring it to life, give you guys a real feel. So let's do this. So you can run Housecall Pro on your desktop. We did not start there. Obviously, we wanted to give you guys access to the mobile app. But obviously, as time goes on, we needed to build out more features, functionality. And what's cool about, desktop is obviously you have more real estate, so you can add more, functionality and features and all that fun stuff. So what I'm going to do is these are my employees on the left-hand side. You might recognize some of them. Elon Musk here. I got Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban. Yeah, they work for me. And so what I'm going to do is just schedule a call for today. I'll say, we'll call it 8 p.m. for Warren Buffett. I just click in there, new job. And what I'm going to do is create a new customer. Here we go. So actually, all right, let's search. I'm going to search for myself here. As I start typing out, it's going to find me. There I am. Click on it. So if it's an existing customer, you just start typing in the name, and then if you've done business with them, it just pops up. And then if it's a new customer, obviously you just add it. So customers here. What I'm going to do, second step, is what am I going to do for this customer? I go to the line items here, and I start typing in, I don't know, let's just say no cool. So I'm an HVAC contractor. I'm going to go no cooling. Here's my service items that I have in my, price book or whatever, $100, our skilled technician will service your unit, so on. I could add notes here. Clear this. I could add notes here like, called in this morning and said the AC unit is busted. Right, gate code, all right, things like that. All right, so now that I know who the customer is, what I'm going to do for them, I'm going to go here to the schedule. I know I put Warren Buffett on this job and, scheduled it for 8 p.m. tonight. What I can do here is now I can manipulate, how I want to run this call. If I want to send other technicians, if I want to longer. There we go. I'll add Mark Cuban to it as well. Done. And what I'm going to do is just save this job. And here's what's cool. Now that I saved this job, two things just happen. All right. So number one, me as the customer, I just received a text message letting me know, hey, Mr. Customer, we got you on the calendar. Hi, Rolando. Warren Buffett from Bay Park Service Pros is scheduled to arrive Wednesday, April 11th between 8 and 10 p.m. Right? See job details here. So I'm the customer in this case. And what's cool is that once you put it in Housecall Pro, that goes out automatically to the customer, right? And then the second thing is, if I'm the service tech who's going to go and actually do this job, I have a notification coming through here letting me know that I'm, scheduled for that job. All right. And so those two things happen automatically. So what I'll do, if I'm the service tech, I'm just going to open up my phone and then just take a look at that job. And then here's where the app really comes in. So if I'm at the office, I took that call and I scheduled it for one of my techs. They open up their phone and then now they see the job. And what they're going to see is this nice Google Street View of the property, right? And then we put the Zillow estimate on there as well. And this is to give you, give the business owner, the dispatcher, kind of a heads up. What kind of customer is this? Is this an upscale customer? Is this a a customer that we really want to take good care of? You would know that, right? So in this case, it's a $900,000 house, 2,700 square feet, built in 65. So you got some good info there. You have the customer's name, their contact info, customer history, how many jobs have you done for them, so on and so forth. So this is the beauty of the app, is that all of the information is nice and neatly organized here for this customer, previous jobs, and street view and all of that. And so now if I want to notify the customer I'm heading out there, I could just hit this on my way button, and that'll send the customer another text message letting them know, hey, I'm actually en route. And so if you look there, Warren Buffett from Bay Park Service Pros is en route now. All right. And so that happens by just clicking one button. Once again, just making it super easy to communicate with the customer, and also just make your life easier. All right. And then of course I can start the job once I get there. When I get there as well, maybe it started out as like a simple $100 service call, but now I have to replace, some kind of, fan or motor or something like that. You can go in and edit this. And what's cool is that once again, you can find, service items in your price book and just add them right to the invoice. And then you could tell the customer, hey, it's going to be a $350 job. I can take care of this right now and get you on your way. And the AC unit's going to be running well. They say, yeah, no problem. So I say, hey, can you go ahead and sign here? Make sure we're both on the same page before I go buy this motor and come back. Yeah, no problem. All right, there you go. And so that was just with my finger, on the phone. And then I'm signing the terms and conditions, all of that, right? And then I can hit done signing. And then now, check this out. If I want to look at the invoice that I just built, I go here to invoice, and I'm going to see my company logo, my contact details, all the line items that I added, the $350, and then of course the customer signature down below there, right? So nice and neatly organized. And then of course, once the job's done, I can just go here to pay, and I can take cash, credit card, financing, check, whatever. Credit card's pretty cool. You can just, scan the card, like that, right? Or you can just punch the numbers in, right? So we built credit card processing right in there. Or if the customer's not there, of course, you could just send it to them and just hit, send. And what that does, the beauty of that is that it drafts the email, attaches the invoice, and sends it to the customer and gives them the ability to pay that invoice right from that email. So I'll show you guys what that looks like here. All right. There we go. So if I'm back at the office and I'm wondering if this job is being done, taken care of, right? I can just refresh this page, and I'm going to see, what's going on out in the field. And I'm also going to see my GPS on my guys to see where they're at in the field as well in real time. All right. So there we go. Let the customer know we're on our way at 7:20. Started the job at 7:20, finished the job at 7:22. We sent the invoice to the customer, and the customer has not paid the $350. Mark Cuban and Warren Buffett went out there. Here's the same Google Street View, Zillow estimate. And then, here's my GPS on my guys, right? There we go. All right, so you can see where they're at relative to the job. All right, so that's all live tracking. And then, of course, all the line items and everything that was added to the job is all outlined here. And then the customer signature and a nice audit of everything that was done on this job. If you could take pictures on the job as well. But what's cool is that everything gets synced in real time back to the office and out in the field as things are happening. So pretty powerful tool. And as you can see, it's pretty easy, to work through. And so that's what we, set out to do is give all that functionality, but do it in a way that is, intuitive and easy to use and all of that. So that's how the product works. So that's how Housecall Pro works. Now, I mentioned to you guys, the reason we built it is, to help contractors get to the next level in terms of servicing the customer in the 21st century. So now that you have that ability, to send out invoices on the spot, capture signatures, take payment, do all of that. You could also have your customer rebook you on all of your online properties. So this is one of the big innovations that we pioneered, which is straight online booking into your calendar. So obviously that exists for a lot of other businesses. OpenTable is pretty common and popular. But now you guys can have that too, right? The customers just want to do that. They want to go online and just see the availability and just book right in there, right? That's just the way, we want to do things. And so with Housecall Pro, we give our customers that ability. So that's another big innovation, is that now, we can interact with the customer the way the customer wants to interact, which is not to give a call, leave a voicemail, send an email, get a voicemail back, and so on and so forth, and just kind of trying to play that phone tag sort of game. So the whole system is just linked up in a way that allows homeowners to just hook up with contractors, home service professionals, really easy. So that's basically it for the demo piece. Just wanted to give you guys a taste, give you a feel of what we are up to. And then, of course, a huge benefit of all of this is that all of your customers, your history, the pictures, what you charged, all of that gets nice and neatly organized and is presented in a way that you can, customize what you're looking, what you care about in your business in terms of how many invoices have paid, how much money do I have outstanding, who are those customers, and, can I call them and just take a credit card, over the phone, those types of things. So how am I trending? Am I trending up? Am I trending down? So on. How much revenue is this employee bringing in versus that employee? How many hours did this employee work, right? So all of those questions are answered inside of the platform. And what's great is that it's just a byproduct of using it. You get all of this data and insights. So pretty powerful stuff. So I'll pause there and I'll open it up for questions about, kind of what you guys just saw. And then, we can just take it from there. And then I'll take a look at the chat here as well to see if, so Arnold wants to know about customer satisfaction feedback on work. So we have partnered with a number of companies who basically help to generate referrals and reviews. So a big part of our business and your business obviously is, keeping you busy. So we think about how do we keep you busy? How do we strengthen the relationship between you and your customer? And, one of the big ways that we do this is through what you're alluding to, which is let's get customer feedback. Was my technician professional? Was he timely? Did he do the job well? Did he tell you exactly what he was going to do? Right. Are you satisfied? Great. Go to our website, go to Yelp, go to Angie's List, go to Google and rate us so that we can get, better and better, exposure out in the marketplace. So we have a lot of different apps that can bolt on to Housecall Pro that can give you the ability to generate reviews and referrals. So just the referral ones to show you real quick. So online booking. So if you have a Yelp account, great, boom, we can activate that so that you can capture that traffic and actually get it into your calendar. We have the Housecall app. You can capture traffic there. Yahoo, Bing, Yellow Pages, City Search, right? All of those properties. Your Facebook account, all of that will go into your schedule. Your website, obviously. And then here's marketing. You guys might be familiar with some of these guys. Podium, Nice Job. That's all they do. All they do is get reviews for you and feedback. Postcard remarketing. This is another concept of just programming customer touch points so that when they need something, or if they're just kind of have it in the back of their mind, you can mark it out to them through emails and postcards to stay top of mind. So great question there. What's our revenue model? How do we make money? Yeah, so we're a SaaS business. So we are a SaaS company. What that means is we are a software as a service. And so the way we generate money is we sell our software to customers. So customers say, yeah, gosh, I want to get off of carbon copy. I want to get off of this old software that only runs on my desktop and it's just a mess. It hasn't evolved. So companies, transition, they want to use our software. And so we're happy to do that. And so we charge a monthly charge for our service. So, and then as a result, every month customers renew, and then, we just keep gaining, earning revenue from each customer that we acquire. So that's our revenue model. Good question there, Marilyn. How's customer? So good question, Karina. Karina wants to know, does the customer have to download the app in order to do business with a company? No, not at all. That's the beauty of it. And what's cool too, I didn't show you guys this, is that when the text messages go out, it actually shows the customer a picture of the technician that's coming. So that way, when the stranger's approaching the house, they know what what the stranger looks like or who he is, right? So this is the text, right? There's Warren Buffett. All right, coming to the house. But yeah, so it'll show a picture of the technician. But yeah, so they don't have to download. It just goes through text. They don't have to download an app in order to get that experience. However, they do need to download the app if they want to see, like, on a map where the service tech is. So they can actually see live, like, if you ever take Uber or Lyft or whatever, you could see your car, coming to the house. We did the same thing with the service tech. So if they do want to do that, you got to have the app. So good question there.
Any other questions? If you want to ask a question, you have to type in chat. You just unmute your microphone too. So if you want to talk directly to Rolando, go ahead and unmute your microphone. I could ask some questions in the meantime. So Matthew had to step away. Matthew had an emergency that he's got to deal with for a little bit. So I'm going to be sitting in his seat for a little bit here. So that's why I'm sitting under the name Matthew Rivaldi right now. So,
no problem.
Okay. So I think Karina asked another question there, if you want to.
Yeah. So service. Yeah. So if we go to our website, we're really transparent on our pricing. Housecallpro.com. So you just go right to our website and you'll see our pricing, but basically it just depends on the size of the company. So owner operators, it's basically $49 a month. Companies that are, 1 to 5 trucks, we're looking at, I think it's like $130, $140 a month. And then, 7 or more trucks up to unlimited is about, $200 a month. So here's our pricing. So we got the simple plan. Like I said, this is like more owner operator. So if you do it month to month, it's $50. You can pay it up year up front, it's $39. You get a discount there. 109, 137, 199, 149. So this is like owner operator. This is your, mid-sized business. And then this is your larger, operation here. Yep. Yeah. Good question.
This has been fantastic. I mean, my background, Rolando, you don't know, but I used to do like IT technical support, and this was a while ago, and this technology didn't exist back then. But this, if you could have transported this back about 10 years ago, it would have saved me so much time and effort, because I was literally carrying around, like a notebook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The schedule, and I'd take calls from customers as I'm on the calls, and it's the least professional thing you can do, because I was in that simple plan, one user thing, and at $39 a month, I would have killed for a tool like this back then.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, what's funny is that we have a lot of big partnerships with companies that big distributors that sell parts, equipment, to service contractors. And a lot of the guys that work for those companies, they used to be contractors themselves, right? And so they're always just like, oh man, if I had this when I was out there, so we hear a lot about that. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, how powerful our phones are. I remember, the Thomas Guide days, right? Where you didn't have GPS, like you didn't know where all the streets were, like it was in a book, and you had to use the Thomas Guide and work your way through. So, technology has just obviously exploded. And so, we are, carving out our niche and serving, the home service, contractor and trying to match up the way that the consumers are expecting to do business nowadays, and carving that out, to modernize it, bring it to the standards of the day, right? But it all starts with helping the pros. If the pros aren't to that standard, it's going to miss. It's like the customer's digital, and the customer's on Amazon and wants, that drone, type of situation that you were talking about. Customers on Amazon, that's what they expect, right? They expect to just be able to get things done and get them delivered, quickly. And so obviously, service work is challenging. Like, it's not unlimited supply, you know, it's not sending a box to a house, but there's a lot of things that we can do to help make that connection, you know, tighter. So definitely that's what we're working on.
So I think you have 2 more questions there from Marilyn and Michelle, if you want to.
Yep. So let's see. I'm reading through your question here, Michelle. So I meet another girl. Oh, okay. So Michelle, are you a cleaning company, or how did so I understand that you carpool. So like, I don't know, like where are you, like, okay. Yeah. So inside of Housecall Pro, you could set multiple permissions. So basically, like, you know, sometimes there's like a lead, you know, who's someone who's like running the actual call or the job, and then someone that's like supporting. And so you can set different permissions, right? There's somebody who can, you know, actually engage with the customer and converse and you know, notify the customer, maybe change the invoice, you know, bill the customer, those types of things. Or there's different permissions for other employees who are just going out there to support, right? And all they need to know is just the customer name, the address, and the time, right? So you could set different permissions, and both of you would basically get the same information about the job, but different details. It may work. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work there at all. But it sounds like maybe I'm missing something from your question there.
It was actually like, I meant substituting one part of the app or the features that you get in that app for another part. Say, I don't like the GPS part because I'm driving and I got that on my phone already, and you know, I know where I'm going pretty much most of the time.
Yep.
Can substitute, like, say, something from the limited users into the simple plan instead of using the GPS part or something like that? Can I trade one feature for another?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it just depends on you know, what type of business you are and what you need, but yeah, so you could basically get any feature a la carte. And if you don't have functionality, or you don't need certain ones, we're not going to beat you over the head and say, no, that one's a, you know, super plus one or whatever. So yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, no, good question.
And then Marilyn's question, I think she's saying, to me, it looks like that you would provide that you as a contractor would provide all your own customers. You don't collect customers at all to send to the app, right?
Right. No, not at all. So we are basically just a operations tool for your business. We are not a lead generator, but what we do a lot of, which often confuses a lot of people. They're like, well, so you're not a lead generator, or are you? We are not at all whatsoever. We try to make that really, really clear. And the reason is because we don't want people to, you know, think that we are and sign up and then they don't get jobs, because that's not what we do. But what we do is help you guys to market and strengthen the relationship that you have with your customer through all of these remarketing and you know, all of these different mediums of communication. And as a result, yes, you definitely do get a lot more business because you have a tighter connection with that customer versus, oh yeah, I really like them, but I totally forgot who they were. Let me go ahead and Google, and then they find somebody else and then they use someone else's service. So it's all about really becoming that default service provider for your customer. And that's what we do exceptionally well, but we're not creating new opportunities for you. That does happen on occasion, but that's not our game. Our game is to help you guys stay organized and run a solid business and solid experience for your customer. So really good question there. So Michelle wants to know what our fee is. Fee?
So I think I just I just posted the link to the your website that you're on right now.
Yep. Yeah. So, okay. Startup fee. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of work that goes into transitioning from whatever previous software or analog system that you're running. So there is a $100 startup fee, initiation fee to get started. However, I have to pull, up, I know Matt and I had a conversation about giving you guys, like a special offer. To be completely honest, I don't remember what it is, but we want to give you guys, the experience, because you guys are continuing to invest in your education, invest in your, business and learning and learning and trying new things. So in the spirit of that, and in the spirit of this community, what we want to do is foster that and continue to perpetuate that. So, to be honest, I don't know what we talked about. I just don't remember, but I will in a couple of minutes here, kind of fine tune that. But we want to give you guys, expose you guys to this platform at a discounted rate, at a longer free trial, that type of thing, so that you guys can explore and learn and discover and test to see if this is obviously something that would help and work for you guys. So yeah, so I'll get a little bit more definition around that though.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So kind of, so NORMAS, it sounds similar to FreshBooks, but more tailored to contractors. So,
yeah, FreshBooks is a little bit more of an accounting platform. So we're definitely not an accounting platform. And what we've done is we've synced up with QuickBooks. And the main reason is because we don't want to become accounting. We really want to be customer interface, customer interaction, really moving that forward for you guys, not accounting. But what's cool about that is that we can focus on the business operations and the app and all that functionality and customer-centric features, and not worry about QuickBooks. But everything that you do in Housecall Pro, create a customer, create an invoice, take payment, whatever, all of that automatically gets pushed over to QuickBooks. So all of that exists in real time. And what's neat about that is that you only just run Housecall Pro, but all your accounting is taken care of simultaneously. So that is mind-blowing for a lot of customers. Are like, I don't have to use QuickBooks, but I have all my accounting done. I'm like, yeah. So, but I know FreshBooks does a couple of other things, but they're a little bit more accounting, from my last assessment of them, which is a little dated, to be honest. So where do we get the idea for our business, and what steps did we take to put it into effect? So Giovanni wants to know. So yeah, the idea really came from being homeowners, and we realized that that there was just a lot of opportunity. So we would just get frustrated, right? I mean, we were business professionals, working 10-hour days, 50, 60 hours a week, things like that. And what you realize is that when you get home, you just don't want to deal with all of the BS of maintaining a house, And so, so you would want to hire in, service contractors to help, fix the sink, or, clean the windows, or get ready for the big party and clean the carpets, or whatever. Right. And so all of those tasks were just painful to schedule, and to have somebody come and do the work. And then it was like a paper invoice, and it just seemed dated, and seemed like, wow, well, we have technical, background. This is a huge opportunity. I can't believe nobody's doing this. So we really felt the initial pain, and we realized, gosh, if we want this, we have to bring this to market. And so that's what we did. We just started, thinking about what is that customer experience that the customers want? What do we want? And so how do we help, make that happen? And so it's not just an Angie's List and categorizing and, putting in the ratings and making everything look pretty, because you really just need to be able to connect into the calendars and into, your schedule, and be able to, fulfill that service call. So that's how we started, is just how do we make it easier for homeowners to get those jobs done? And the answer is help you guys do your job better and be organized and be able to run all aspects of your business from your phone, so that when the customer interaction or the customer request comes in, you guys are just ready to rock, right? And then how did we put it into effect? Just starting. It was not pretty. It was not, perfect. But we knew that there was an opportunity to create something new. And so we just started with the customer. What does the customer want? And then just build from there. And it's just little tiny steps at a time. So just starting. So starting to think about it, and then starting to, really understand, what are we trying to optimize here? Optimize customer experience. How do you do that? Well, strengthen that relationship between contractor, customer, and, text messages, communication, GPS, like all of those things, is really how it all kind of unfolded. Okay.
Cool. Any other questions for Rolando? Any piece of advice, Rolando? So you've probably been, I think what Matthew said is you've dealt with a lot of startups before. Is that right? Or
no? So this is my first startup.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was actually a banker for 11 years prior to this. Yeah.
I was too. That was where I started.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it afforded me a good life, good career, learned a lot. It was really good, actually. I enjoyed it, but I just kind of realized it just was not, where I wanted to end up, in the next 20, 30 years. And so started looking for other things, started looking at, what are the things that I'm interested in? What am I constantly reading about? What excites me? And it has to do with, new technology, new markets, new products, new innovations, inventions, all of that. And so, started looking for those opportunities, and, stumbled upon, this really small startup, that had 7 people, working out of basically like a shoebox. And just really loved what they were doing, and really believed in it, and thought, God, yeah, you're right. Like, this makes perfect sense. And so I bought into the idea and the company, and just started to apply myself, with all of my, experience and resources, and started just going step by step, trying to build and build and build. So like I said, I started about 4 years ago, right around the time we started. And it was about 6 months after, the original founders started the company, and, came in as employee number 8, and, just started figuring out, what is it that our contractors want? What types of features, what type of functionality? And what's amazing is that we started with the most basic of products. It was basically a notepad on your piece, in the app, in your phone. And so, that's how you have to start, is just give a little bit of value. And we kept, building and innovating on top of that. So that's how I got involved, is 11 years of banking, realized that just wasn't what I wanted to do, and started looking for other things. And, I feel like I, kind of hit the lottery. Obviously we worked incredibly hard to get to where we're at, but, a lot of companies just don't make it. And, we've had to learn a lot and apply ourselves, beyond what we believe to be humanly possible. But, obviously it's gotten us to the, level that we're at now. Reading your comment right here, Giovanni. So yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, basically, Giovanni, look, the way we got started, we saw a problem. We looked to see if anyone's trying to solve it. No one was. Okay, let's just start. Like, what's the first step? Wow, connecting the customer with the pro. And then we tried to do that for a while, and it was like, no, that's like lead generation, just doesn't work. Oh, let's help the pro to better serve the customer. There we go. Now we got something. Well, what do the pros need? They would need to know who their customers are. Okay, cool. We could do that. Boom. Here's a list of customers that, you already have in your contact list. All right, great. What else do you need to know? Well, I don't know, like the new jobs that you have moving forward. Okay, cool. We could do that. So that was just like a list of new jobs, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what else do you need to know? Well, you need to know what you're going out there for. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're going out there for a service call. Well, how much did you tell them it was going to be? Oh, well, a price. Okay, cool. So customer, date and time, and then price, right? And I mean, literally, like that's it, right? And then it was just step by step by step by step by step, and then now what you have today. So it is that simple and straightforward, but yet insanely challenging and painful too, to be honest. But yeah, that's exactly the way. So why do companies give big time windows for their time arrival? Yeah, so it just has to do with scheduling. So as you know, you can't really build a business on $125 service calls. You can get by for a while, but really what you need is that $125 service call to turn into a replacement or into a larger job to really make the company viable. And so the reason you set up time windows is because, yes, the service call will take 20, 30 minutes and maybe another 30 minutes in transit. So you should be able to hit your next appointment and have like 6 appointments a day. But what ends up happening is that if you're running your business correctly, you're actually scheduling that service call to be 2 hours, right? Or whatever. And then you're scheduling your next job, within a certain window beyond that. And so the reason is because you don't want to just do that service call. You want to upsell that customer and, really sell them what they really need, which is maybe a new service or, I can clean that room, but I can clean the room and the hallway and another, and do some spot, checking or whatever, spot cleanups as a carpet cleaner. And now we have a $500 job and the customer's like, yeah, God, you're right. Like this just looks terrible. And I'm trying to just get one room done, but I really should do the whole house. And I'll do this once every, 6 months, so twice a year. And you could be my carpet cleaner. That sounds great because my house will be like nice and clean and pretty. And it's not that expensive overall, over the year. So really what it comes down to is as a business owner, you want to earn more business and you want to earn, loyal, longtime customers. And so the businesses that are around that do well, that's what they do well. They serve the customer incredibly well. And it's not about trying to extract as much from the customer. It's just about knowing your brand and knowing your value and knowing your trade and saying, Mr. Customer, I understand that you want to just do this, but that does not make sense in the long run. And as a result, what you'll run into is just more time, more headaches, more pain. And I'm going to save you a lot of time and money by just doing it right the first time, but it's going to cost you $1,200. Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's just do $600. So you just turn that service call from 125 to 600, and now you have a viable business. But guess what? That job's going to take longer and you're going to miss your next appointment, but that's why you put in that arrival window. So really, really good question there.
So Giovanni, did he answer? I think he answered maybe your question about what areas did you research. I think that's the kind of, I think he kind of touched on that in terms of.
Oh yeah. So I think I know where you're going with this, Giovanni, is, so you're supposed, like what seems so standard is like, you got to do this big business analysis and this market analysis and make sure that like there's a lot of opportunity and you could really just make a business out of it. And so you kind of do that, but you don't really try to get too bogged down in the details and building out this huge business plan, because then you just never get started, because it just becomes too big and complicated and overwhelming. And then you like convince yourself out of it and you're just like, no, let's just start. Let's just see what happens. And that's what we did, is just started, just started and built a little something and then got a good response and built a little something more and then got some good response and then just went from there. And what they call that is agile engineering and lean, lean business practices or lean startup. And that's the only way to really create anything new, is to just do it, not get bogged down in the big business plans and the big analysis and all of that. You want to generally know that there's opportunity out there. Like, you're not just going to start to do something just for fun. You want to think about it, but you really don't want to get too bogged down in all of the details of like, how big is the market, so on and so forth. So that's the way we've done it, and that is the way of Silicon Valley. There's no other way that Silicon Valley operates. That is the way. Is just just doing a little tiny bit at a time. They call it iterations, like really quick, tight iterations, which is send something out and then iterate, like just change it a little bit, and then send something out, change it a little bit, and so on and so forth. But good question, because yeah, I mean, like the standard, like canned, business plan is got to have this big book and it's got to look really impressive, and you got to make sure that you dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's. That is not the way to do it. You will not do anything if you do it that way, because you'll just get bogged down. You just won't.
So it looks like Michelle, you maybe had you got Michelle reconsidering your services, because it looks like she had a demo before, and so that's good.
Oh, okay.
That's very good. So I think we better let Rolando go. If we'll have you, Rolando, if you want to talk to Matthew about whatever, work out the details in terms of if you were going to do like a different setup fee or a different type of trial or something. We can get you. We'll let Matthew, or we'll talk to you after sometime, and then we'll communicate that to the class. We'll give a link to that information.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I really do, because like we really are going to do something special, but I just don't want to throw something out there that's just not well thought out. So I apologize, but what I did is I just put my email in here. In the chat. So just shoot me an email if you're interested, if you want to learn more, whatever, and then I'll give you guys the feedback right away. Obviously, I'll send it through Matthew and team as well, and they can circulate the email out to you guys and let you know what the deal is. But we really do want to do right by you guys and the community, to support you guys in your journey of becoming business owners, growing your business, evolving and in growing your business and really taking the next step into the modern age and all of that. So we are partners in that journey. So we definitely want to give you guys a special program. So you can email me and then I can give you guys more definition. But obviously Matthew and team will get that out too. So. Thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, just shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to continue the conversation there.
Thank you so much, Rolando. We really appreciate you coming out. And I'm sure Matthew does too. And like I said, Matthew had to step away. He's had a family emergency. So we really appreciate it. And thank you so much. I love this. I could potentially use this. I might be a customer here soon too with this.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I appreciate the time, appreciate the feedback and all the questions. And we'll definitely have to do this again. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All righty. Bye now.
All right. See you later. All right, everybody. You haven't had a break yet, so let's go on break. 15 minutes. I'll kind of regroup here. We'll kind of come back and talk about our slides some more. So let's see if I can share my screen here. I had to move onto Matthew's computer here. So let me see. Let me see what that is. All right, let's take a break for 15 minutes. We'll be back here 8:15.